Alright guys, well, this is new, so I'm just giving this a shot, just trying to see if doing tech stuff live actually works out better than gaming live, because when I try and stream a game, everything just goes to hell. So, new plan. We're actually going to set up a virtual lab and install Windows Server 2016. Don't know how long this is going to take because I don't have any SSDs. This is spinning drives, and we're doing it live. So things are prone to screw up live. So anyways, first things first, I'm doing this in VMware Workstation. You can do this in any type of hypervisor that you want. You know, I really don't need my headphones because, well, I don't. So you could really do this in any hypervisor, whether it's VMware or it's VirtualBox. Choice is really up to you. Oops. All right, choice is really up to you. I'm doing this in VMware Workstation. So first things first, we need to set up our virtual networks. Now, again, I'm doing this in VMware Workstation. The way you do this in VirtualBox is similar, but it's not quite the same. You'll notice here I have a few virtual networks. I have VMnet 1, VMnet 2, VMnet 8, and VMnet 19. 19 is the one I created. I like to make things stand out because I will forget them. VMnet 19 is far away from everything else, so I'm not going to forget it. You'll notice that's host only, and that means that anything on this or anything connected to VMnet 19 network adapter can only communicate with the host. Or rather, it's VMs in the network, as you can see right there. A bridge connection is just like having a physical connection into my network, and a NAT connection, it works just like your internet connection at home, where the VM is kind of hidden away, and it uses NAT with your private IP address, actually. So if you reach out to the internet, you're doing some double NATing, but it's a way to kind of hide that VM on your network. But again, I'm doing a host only, and you'll see we have DHCP turned off, and I'm going to get to that in a reason, excuse me, why I have DHCP turned off. But in case DHCP was enabled, the subnet address is 192.168.23.0, but that's not important. So once you have that created, we're going to, this is the one thing I hate about VMware Workstation. It is, you gotta do that. I want to right click for some reason. I want to right click. So we're going to do typical, and we are going to browse to downloads, and we are going to do, where is Pfsense? There we go, Pfsense. It's going to complain that it can't detect. That's fine. Pfsense is based off of other, and it's going to be FreeBSD 11 64-bit. That's the important part. That's the setting that we need. So hit next. We're going to call this Pfsense, if I could type. And I am not storing that there. I am storing that in my E drive. Next. Minimum disk size 20 gigs. Yeah, that's fine. I'm actually going to bump that up to 50 to play it safe. We're going to split into multiple files. That's fine. We're not too worried about it. Do not press finish yet. We need to customize our hardware because what we're doing is we're installing a virtual firewall. This is important when you have a virtual lab. You want to control the flow of traffic coming into that lab and out of that lab, because whatever you do inside that lab, it should be physically isolated from the outside. So we are going to be doing some double natting, but we want to have a decent firewall in place so that way we can, whatever happens on our VMs doesn't necessarily get out into our production network. So as you'll see here, 256, that is fine. One processor, that is fine. Network adapter. We are going to do bridged, and we're going to replicate physical network connection. We're going to hit add network adapter, finish. And on this one, we're going to do custom. And you'll see right here, we have 20 VM nets that we can choose. We set up 1, 2, 8, and 19. As I told you, 19 is the special one. DHCP is not on that one, and that's important. So VMnet 19 is going to be our LAN connection for our lab. This bridge adapter is going to be our WAN connection. I know it's a little confusing when you think about it, but think of your internal network, your production internal network, as the internet, and think of your virtual network as your local LAN, and it'll make a little bit more sense. All right, so now we got that in place. We'll hit close and just scroll through this real quick. I'm going to reopen it because it didn't. Yep, okay, we're good. Want to verify that? We're going to hit finish, and it's going to move it down there. We want it in our lab folder, and we're going to power this puppy on. Pfsense is amazing. First off, it's free. Second off, it provides a lot of great features that are commonly found in enterprise grade firewalls for free. I have used Cisco's, Meraki's, FortiGates, and there's a lot of cool features, but they cost big bucks. Not with Pfsense. So we're going to accept that we're not doing this on commercial, or we're not installing this on a system and selling it, basically. We're going to install, continue, auto. It's going to copy files. It's going to be real quick. And actually, while that's doing that, we're going to begin setting up our Windows Server machine. So we're going to do installer disk. Hey, look at that, found it. Next, we're not going to worry about the product key. We are going to do standard. And full name is going to be administrator. And our super secret password, exclamation point. Yes, that's fine. We're going to call this server, we're just going to call it lab DC1. Again, I don't store my stuff in my local folder. I store it in E. Next, oops. Already exists. 01 01, next. 60 is fine. We're not going to go too crazy. Again, we want to come into here. I'm going to bump this up to 4096. I'm going to bump this up to 4 cores per one processor, and our network adapter. We're going to go to custom and VMnet 19 because again, that's our internal. Hit close, cool, finish, and we're going to let this go to town. One of the nice things about VMware is it's going to automatically install Windows for us. So we're going to go back to Pfsense because it's finished. Do we want to, would you like to open a shell to make any final manual modifications? No. And we are going to reboot. It should pop out the disk, and we're going to throw that in our lab folder. Looks like it. Yeah, that popped out the disk. I think, unless I didn't catch it. Looks like it did. So under 512, non-enabling op cache. See, that's one of the great things about Pfsense. It works on anything. You can install this on a toaster. So also, while I get into this, another cool thing, live stream. You know, if you have questions about something, pop it into the chat, and I'll answer it on the stream, because it looks like I can stream installing operating systems apparently, but I can't stream games. That's funny. Anywho, so yeah, this actually installed and it popped out the ISO file. You'll see here on our WAN. Again, that's our bridge connection. You'll see we actually have IPv4 and IPv6. That's because I do have IPv6 enabled on my network. So we're only going to be concerned about that. So our LAN interface, or our internal interface, 192.168.1.1, and remember, in our virtual network editor, one 192.168.23.0. This is why DHCP is off on this one, because Pfsense here is actually going to it's going to handle our environment. So let's check out how our friend over here is doing. All right, we're at 50. So let's bog this down even more. We're going to do a new virtual machine. We are going to do, there's 10. I was about to do 7. That's fine. Windows 10 Pro, that's fine. We're going to call this technician. Again, our super secret password exclamation point. Yeah, that's fine because we don't care. D : and Win10 Tech, and we're gonna put that right there. Win10 Tech. Next, 60's fine. That's fine. Customize hardware. 4096. Bump this up to 4. And network adapter, custom 19, because that's what we set up. Close, finish, and now the machine is going to bog down even more, creating disk. So while that does that, that's where we we actually check our phone, see what's going on in the world. Nothing's going on. Talk about the weather. You know, it's nice here. And yeah, so I guess I'll just use this opportunity because we're doing this live. If I was pre-recording this is where I would pause the video, but not able to do that. And I'm bogging my machine down. Heat's not as bad as when I was playing a game, so we'll go with that. Anyways, so on these live streams, I think it would be kind of cool to, you know, if I'm doing something and you have a question about what I'm doing, pop in the chat and, you know, I'll answer it on stream. Same thing if you have any questions about any technology, networking, cloud, you name it. I probably know a little bit about it. I wish I could show more cloud stuff, but that stuff I'm going to have to pre-record simply because it's through my employer and I'd be releasing some information about our subscription. I don't want to do that, so I would have to pre-record it, unfortunately. But cloud topics are things I would love to get into, especially on a live stream. It'd be kind of interesting. So what we're doing right now, we are just waiting for our tech machine to get installed. And again, this is why I love VMware. It just does everything for us. I'm going to put this in our folder. And actually, our server is probably going to be installed before the tech machine, but we'll see. So yeah, we're just killing time at this point. I know on my other channel, on my company channel, my other company channel, the popular thing or the popular videos are the help desk series. A lot of you guys are interested in technology, and that is just fantastic. The technology industry is a very good industry to get into right now. I'm not going to lie to you. Whatever you have in mind for your salary, lower it by a lot. The things I see, everybody says, oh, I want to be a systems admin, I want to be a network admin, I want to work on Linux, I want to work on Windows, I want to do the whole shebang. And lower your expectations. You're not, especially if you're coming fresh out of college, you are not going to get a job as a sysadmin. I don't care how skilled you think you are. If you're green, you're not getting a job as a sysadmin or a network admin. Sorry, that's really just how it is. You're going to be going into help desk or service desk now. Now that the terminology is changing as things do in technology. So I do have some pointers though. If you are attending college, see if your college offers any sort of basic technical class. Some do, some do not. Go after some low-hanging fruit certifications. A+, Network Plus from CompTIA or CompTIA, however you want to say it. Those are good entry-level certs. They get through the HR BS detectors. It'll put you ahead of anybody in an entry-level job who doesn't have those certs, and they're dead easy to get. Very easy to get. Actually, I have this book that I bought used off of Amazon many years ago. Actually, not too long ago. It's been a few years, though, because it's been updated. It is called A Guide to Customer Service Skills for the Service Desk Professional. Get that on. This book, it's a textbook. So this is the 3rd edition. I don't know. Guide to Computer User Support for Help Desk and Support Specialist, 4th edition. There's a lot of there's a few of these books. They're textbooks. They're college textbooks. So if you do find them, it is probably going to cost you about $140. You can either rent it for cheaper, or you can purchase a used one for like $60 or something. I think that's what I did with this one. This one's definitely used because it's got about, it's got 3 stickers on the back, and on the spine it's got one, yeah, it's got 3. So this thing has been used about 4 times. And probably the only thing that's probably changed between the 3rd edition and the 4th edition is the picture on the cover. Yeah, this book is this one's copyright 2011. So it's a little old, but the material in here is on par for what you need. So especially if you're in high school even, ask your parents for this book, because if you're serious about a job in technology, this will give you the soft skills required. The common misconception with getting a tech job is that you can be antisocial. That's further from the truth, especially on help desk, because you're going to start on help desk. You're not going to be working on servers like this, like we're doing right now. You're going to be working on help desk, and this book, it's a textbook, as I've said. It has few different topics. Chapter 1 Chapter 1's got a lot of different things. Talks about trends. It's called Achieving High Customer Satisfaction as Chapter 1. And there's all these, it's a big chapter. So literally right out of the gate, achieving high customer satisfaction. Delivering quality technical customer support. We start getting into stuff. Customer support in the service desk role. We're talking about dispatching. We're talking about help desk. We're talking about technical support, customer support, what a customer is, a call center, contact center, and channels. So we get the vocab. You start getting the lingo down. We start talking about ITIL, best practice, ITSM, incident, problem, service request, because this does follow ITIL. And a lot of companies are going the ITIL route. So it's good to know. SMEs or subject matter experts, that would be like myself. we start talking about knowledge management systems, ownership, network monitoring systems, blah, blah, blah. And you start realizing, or you start putting the puzzle pieces together. And you start realizing there's a lot that goes into it. It's more than just fixing a computer, right? So we got trends influencing the services. Oh, here we go. We actually have a buzzword in the textbook. World class. A world-class company has achieved and sustains high levels of customer satisfaction. World-class companies often reap the benefit of customer loyalty. Customers are willing to pay slightly more for products and suffer minor inconveniences, such as temporarily living without a feature provided by a competitor's product in exchange for excellent service. Well, if you ask any company out there, they're world-class. So watch out for the buzzwords, too. So we got trends influencing the service desk. And I can tell you that we got a lot of trends out there. And here's, it even brings this up. So pursuing a career in the service desk provides the opportunity to learn about and support a wide range of computing technologies such as hardware, software, databases, applications, and networks, work with people and technology, use previously acquired skills such as customer service skills, multilingual skills, gain entry into a company in which you want to work, learn about all the various departments within a company, advance along a technical career path or managerial career path, work flexible schedule, work from home, potentially travel, including traveling abroad, which is pretty nice. Not that I've worked abroad, I've worked around the country. Achieve the personal satisfaction that comes from helping others. So we have, this thing goes right into technically savvy customers, support levels. We get into the ACD, automated call dispatch, mobile workforce. Because this is from 2011, we are talking about PDAs, 24/7 support, fee-based support, call center, profit center, MOFs, which are Microsoft Operation Frameworks. We have ISO, IEC. We got KPIs. We got factors that might do things. We have outsourcing, which is a reality. Not that it's happened to me, but I've known people who it has happened. Certifications that you can do. As I mentioned, ITIL, or not ITIL, CompTIA, but ITIL is in there. There's the HDI certification, there's the TISA certification, TSIA. There's project management and vendor certs. Get them. For those of you watching who might have a strong network background, go for the Meraki CMNO certification. I am a CMNO certified, and it's free, so you're dumb if you don't get it. So going through this book will give you everything that you really need to know about working in the help desk. Service chain, SLAs, big one, influencing customer perception, because, well, you need to do it. Caring attitude, we talk about attitudes, we talk about peer-to-peer support, satisfaction metrics, going the extra mile, monitoring, developing the right mix of skills, because you have to have technical skills, soft skills, and soft management skills. let's go through our key terms real quick even. This is just chapter 1. 24/7 support, asset management, ACD, avatar, best practice, business skills, call center, can-do attitude, caring attitude, change management, channel, configuration management system, contact center, cookie, cost center, customer satisfaction survey, customer service value chain, customer support, dispatch. That goes on. Email response management system, expectation, external customer. It's just pages. This is all stuff that you definitely need to know. Let's look at the next chapter. Oh, there's some case projects in here, which I would recommend doing. Anytime you pick up a textbook like this and there's case projects in there, do them. Developing strong listening and communication skills. Active listening. Yeah, so this book basically gives you everything that you need to know about like the soft skills, winning telephone skills. That's a big one. You're gonna be on the phone a lot. Technical writing skills. Just flipping through this. It's a big chapter. Handling difficult customer situations. And let me tell you, if you read through this chapter or you have somebody yelling at you, you're going to treat customer service reps a lot differently. So you would talk about difficult customers, solving and preventing incidents and problems. So for example, yeah, it's just root causes, the 5 whys, business skills for technical professionals, because it doesn't matter where or what kind of business you're in or where you're at, you do need to understand business a little bit. You're going to have to know about financial management a little bit, because there's you're going to have to know about ROIs, cost benefits, and it's it's one of those things. Using business skills to identify and justify improvement opportunities. That's big. I do that a lot. So there's a lot. Doing presentations, teams and team players in a service desk setting, because it's a team. Minimizing stress and avoiding burnout. That's the big one. You should get this book just for that, because it's dedicated. Service desk site visit. So this, it's a capstone project. But yeah, if you're in high school, a lot of times you can actually get out of school. You can get out of school for job shadowing, and I actually did that quite a lot. I've seen many data centers and stuff. Basically, ask your parents to to ask their IT departments if you can go visit, if you could job shadow, if you could see, how this stuff works. And a lot of times they're into it. They really are. So, excuse me. Service Desk Site Visit. This capstone project is designed to be an active learning experience that brings together in a real-world setting all the concepts and techniques described in this text. This project involves arranging to visit as a class if possible the service desk at your school or at a company in your community. Communicate to the host ahead of time that the purpose of the visit is to understand how the service desk interacts with customers and to obtain answers to questions such as, what's a good question? Well, here's a good one. How does the team and how do the analysts within the team manage stress and burnout? Don't be surprised if alcohol is involved. If you're a kid, if you're in high school, they might lie to you. If you're in college, they're going to say alcohol. But anyways, how is the service desk using technology such as telephone, email, incident management systems, knowledge management systems, web-based technology such as self-service, instant messaging, and chat? They come up with all sorts of cool stuff. So, yeah, highly recommend this book. Find it on Amazon. A Guide to Customer Service Skills for the Service Desk Professional, 3rd edition, by Donna Knapp. And I actually have it because once upon a time, I was in charge of a service desk, help desk, and I wanted to be able to provide my staff good training. Another good book. This one is for when you grow up and you become a sysadmin or a network admin or Devops. I don't have the Devops book because now that I'm kind of in Devops again, probably going to get it. The Practice of System and Network Administration, DevOps, and Other Best Practices for Enterprise IT. 3rd edition. I have the 2nd edition as well. It might, yeah, I got it. It's on my bookshelf. So this book grew a little bit in size. It's by Tom Lim. I always mispronounce his name. Limoncelli, and well, he's the main author anyways. This book, if you want to get a jump start on your career as a sysadmin or a network admin, get this book too. This one will actually run you about $65, maybe a little bit less on Amazon. Highly recommend it. There's topics in here. Sequential, basically defining names, so it gives you things on like namespaces. Service monitoring, compliance monitoring, centralization, accessibility, scaling. There's different sections: when to decentralize, when to centralize, DLP, your infrastructure, extranets, intranets, authentication, so on and so forth. So, like, I know that this is up, but I'm actually going to wait for a little bit because it's going to do its stuff. Chapter 28, Handling an Incident Report. And it goes into, well, we got a chart here. We have a process flow. Start, the greeting, problem identification, planning and execution, verification, and end. Notice in there, I said the greeting. So that when you're a sysadmin or a network admin, you do have to deal with end users still. Not as much. So we do problem classification, problem statement, helping the customer save face, which is always good, planning and execution, trending, everything that you want. Evaluating tools. This is also a pretty good one. Buzzword compliant is a humorous term meaning that the product applies to all the current industry buzzwords one might see in the headlines of trade magazines, whether or not such compliance has any benefit. So you'll see cloud a lot, you'll see SaaS. It's not really a buzzword anymore. It's kind of a thing. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of it. Let's dive right back into this. So we're gonna go ahead and hit our Control-Alt-Delete, maybe. There we go. It's just slow. Yeah, because that's booting. Like I said, give it some time. So we go back to our phone. Okay, sorry, anyways. Nope, wrong password. Wasn't even typing it anyway, so it didn't matter. Super secret password. Release the cursor. Let's head over to our tech machine. It's still doing its thing. Typical. Preparing Windows. This should be finishing up here soon. All right. It's going to probably log it. I don't know what step it's on because we weren't watching this one. We were watching the server. Server is almost there. There it somewhat is. Our tools are installed. We are going to not capture the screen. I want to resize view. There we go. Fit guest. Get it all in there. Kinda. It's thinking. There we go. Okay. Cortana's probably gonna start talking. Actually, no. Cortana's not gonna talk in this. Thank goodness. Most annoying thing ever. Anyway, so this is our server. It's still finishing its thing. This is our this is our tech machine. waiting. I need to get SSDs. If possible, get SSDs. I mean, this machine has more than enough horsepower. It's the discs. It's always the disc. Yeah, that's going to go out and reach for updates. So if I go to performance here, you can see this is where my VMs are. This disk just isn't fast enough. I mean, it's just being pegged right now. Main drive's fine. See, I got 32 gigs of memory. I'm not worried about that. CPU, logical, look at this. I'm not worried about CPU. Not worried. Memory, not worried. It's the disk. This is the disk. And you can see with the Ethernet, we are just sending and receiving data like crazy. GPU is just going crazy. Really need to get something built out, but what can you do? All right, so this is why I try not to do this at once. It does take this long. So while that's doing that, let's talk career. So this book is definitely one that I would get once you know, well, I would say either once you become a systems administrator or network administrator of any kind, whether it's junior or senior, right in the middle. Chapter 20 in this book talks about DevOps, because DevOps is the new thing. That was not in version 2, or in the second edition of this book. Continuous integration and deployment. That definitely wasn't there. Rapid release, and yeah, so this book I definitely recommend. Yeah, it's still installing. This book I definitely recommend to get. Whoops, just missed something interesting. Build, rent, or outsource for data centers. It provides so much useful information. And whether or not you are junior, senior, if you haven't picked this one up yet, you need to. I would pick it up as early as possible. If you're on the help desk or service desk and you're serious about your career, you want to be a network admin, a systems admin, or even management. Management should definitely pick this up. Any IT management should read this from cover to cover, because I've been at places where they're just like, meh, why not? We're going to do whatever. So, yeah. Even if you plan on being in management, or maybe you are in management, this book, pick it up. I would send you my copy, but it's my copy, and usually when I loan people stuff, I never get it back. And I don't loan things over the internet to strangers, so. And just for comparison, this is the second edition of the book. So if you see it, you see this cover, it's the second edition. I mean, it even says second edition, but if it's colorful, if it's like this red, purple thing, it's the second edition. It's got thicker paper because they had to switch over to thinner paper because they added a lot more content. But this book, this I read this thing. You know, I read chapters in this thing. I kept it on my desk at work, and you know, it helped me put some process and some procedures in place that the company is still actually using to this day. Even though I'm no longer at that company, but simply by reading this, using common sense, I was able to make a difference. So those are some of my book recommendations. All right, so let's jump into our tech machine. I don't like doing things on the server machine, even though we do have to configure this really quick. Again, that's going to take its sweet old time, so we're going to enter here. Password exclamation, and we are going to fit guest now. The one thing I really don't like that Microsoft did is that the background on server looks just like the background. Well, it's the same background on the client. So, hey, you don't know which freaking thing you're on, especially if you disable on the client here. You disable Cortana, and you remove some icons. You're gonna get confused really quick. So one of the things I like to do is I like to go on the server, and we'll see if it'll let me just personalize. Now I'm not activating Windows, and that is on purpose because, yeah, it's not going to let me. There's a workaround. I don't activate Windows simply because I destroy these things so fast. As you saw at the beginning, I deleted my existing lab because, well, I didn't need it. So we're actually just going to rename this real quick. I like to do this first. DC01 lab. And again, I like to make these names match the actual computer name, so we're just gonna do that. It's gonna want to reboot, which is fine. And here on our tech machine, it is busy installing Candy Crush Saga and all this other garbage. We're gonna fire up Edge. And we're going to access our Pfsense box because I want to show you Pfsense. This is actually going on really late. It's going on 1 in the morning and live streaming, and I've been talking. So I want to at least show you this. We'll pause everything and we'll resume later because I do want to show some other fun stuff. So we're going to go to 192.168.1.1, 192.168.1.1. Wink. All right, this site is not secure. That's what we want to see. And that's just because of our CA. It's a self-signed cert. We're going to close that tab. We're going to close that tab. So, default password. Admin Pfsense. Sign in. And it's going to take us through a wizard. because everything's got a wizard. I'm going to close that. We're going to hit next. Netgate offers support. Cool. They are great, by the way. We're going to give it, now we have to give our thing a host name, so I'm just going to call this Pfsense and zinstolab.com. Our primary DNS server is going to be 1.1.1.1, 1.0.0.1. Allow DNS servers to be overridden by DHCP, PPP on WAN. Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't really matter. Time server host name 0.pfsense.pool.ntp.org. Yeah, that's fine. And I am in America, New York. I'm not actually in New York. I'm just in the Eastern time. And New York is the closest city. Otherwise, well, technically Detroit, but I always use New York because sometimes Detroit's not available. So our WAN interface, unless you have a static, unless you gave your thing a static, theoretically you could give it a static. We're just going to leave it as DHCP. We don't have to touch our MAC. We don't have to adjust the MTU. We don't have to adjust the MSS. Static is disabled. DHCP client host name. Some ISPs may require this for client identification. It's my internal network. We don't freaking care. It's just going to call it pfsense.zinstolab.com anyways. We are not using PPPoE, so we can skip that section. We are not using PPTP, so we're going to skip that. Here's two sections that we need to pay attention to when using Pfsense. Block RFC 1918 private networks. These are the private networks. Our 10. Our 172.16 and our 192.168. As well as the loopback 172. And that's all described for you right here. So because our WAN is a private network, we need to uncheck this. And this is important, and even tells you right here, generally, this should be turned on unless the WAN network lies in such a private address space. Because traffic's being double NAD, we need to turn this off. Block bogon networks. This one I actually do leave on. So this block non-internet routed networks from entering via the WAN. Good security. So anything not assigned by IANA or, well, yeah, basically that. It's just bogus traffic, misconfigured IPs and whatnot. This one leave on and hit next. Configure a LAN. 192.168.1.1 is fine. Subnet mask 24, that's fine. Now we're going to reset our admin password. And again, it's our super secret password, password 1, password exclamation point. And now we need to reload Pfsense. So this is going to take down our network connection. Well, no, we're not rebooting it. No, we are not rebooting it. We're just reloading the services. So again, absolutely no commercial distribution is allowed. Don't do it. You're going to go to jail. Well, not really. You might get sued. Cool. You will notice that we are on 2.4.2 and 2.4.3 is available. Should I do it? Nah, I'm not. I'm going to save you the time. So this is kind of Linuxy, BSD-ish stuff. So don't worry if you don't understand it 100%. So our CPU usage, it's using 8%. Memory usage, we're using 67%. Swap, we're using 1%. Our disk usage, root is using 2%. And var run is using 3%. So everything's good. Memory, that's the only thing I'm actually gonna bump up on this one. Firewall, we're gonna get into our rules here. Reserved, not assigned by IANA. So this is our Bogon Networks rule. On the LAN side, we have a few default rules here. This is our anti-lockout rule. From anything to anything, from anything to the destination of the LAN address, port 43 and port 80. Any gateway, any queue, always allow it. So this is our anti-lockout rule. That's just so we can continue to access Pfsense. Default, allow LAN to any rule. So IPv4 protocol. The source is the LAN from any port. Destination anywhere. Port anywhere. Gateway any. Queue none. That just lets it transverse. So if we really wanted to, we could actually start locking things down. Like if we had different VLANs, this is where we would do everything. Now on the WAN side, this is typically where we have, where we can allow stuff. So we'll add below that, action pass, we can basically just add whatever we need to. This is our port forwarding, and I'm really tired, and I've been doing this for over an hour, so I'm going to wrap this up real quick. We're going to leave the server as is. I just wanted to come through here real quick and show you the firewall rules. We got natting. We got one-to-one mappings. We got our outbound. This is typically what you're going to have. Automatic outbound NAT rule generation, IPsec included. You really don't have to do anything else. Services, this is where we have a whole lot of different services, and that's one of the things that I like about Pfsense. We're going to go into some of these services later, and I'm actually going to show you these in this environment. Again, status, diagnostics, all super simple stuff. If you want to play with Pfsense, you do not need to have a physical machine for it. You can. You can even run this as a router. Well, it is a router. But if you have a spare workstation and it has two NICs, at least two NICs, you can actually use Pfsense, install it on there, and use it as your router. Now, obviously, your workstation doesn't have a wireless capabilities. It could. So you would need like a cheap router just to do wireless. But this will actually handle your routing. It's a great way to get hands-on with enterprise grade networking. All right, I am falling asleep, which is not a good thing. So I'm going to end this stream right now because we're going over an hour. The next time this stream picks up, we're going to walk through configuring our Windows server and putting our final touches on well, we don't really have to do too much with Pfsense for this anyways. So we have everything set up. If we need to adjust our firewall rules, we'll do that later. the other thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to do that later. I'm going to show you how easy it is to update this as compared to any other firewall out there. But otherwise, that's it. Pfsense is up and running. That's it. We're also going to go over tools to install on our tech workstation. We're going to get our tech workstation connected to our domain controller, and we're going to set up a domain. And then we're also going to set up a client that's not a tech machine and show group policy and different things like that. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, this is something totally new. Doing it live, so things are going to be a little bit slower than pre-recorded, right? The nice thing about pre-record is it might take me 2 hours to do everything, but once I cut it all together, it's really only a 20-minute video. So that's one thing to bear in mind. Let me know what you think about this format. I keep the live chat window open, so whenever we're online, just pop questions in there. We'll answer it live. There's not really a delay on this. Everything sort of goes through. I think there's like maybe a few second delay, and that's just the streaming. It's not like there's a 30-second delay or anything. We don't need to censor anybody. But anyways, yeah, let me know what you think about this. Think of your tech questions, anything about Server 2016, career stuff even, networking stuff, and firewall security stuff, I guess, because we'll go over Pfsense some more. But yeah, think of that stuff, pop it in the chat when we're online, and I'll answer it on air. If I go off into a tangent, I go off into a tangent. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to pause that. We're going to pause that. The only thing I will say, though, before I disappear, Pfsense does not particularly like to be paused. You can leave it running because as you saw, it uses virtually nothing, especially on modern machines like we have today. But because it does not like to be paused, we're going to go into the shell here. It's going to do its thing, and then it's going to enter an option. We want, now, Linux and FreeBSD do things a little bit different than what you're used to. Because like on Windows here, I just go to Start, hit this, and shut down. You'll notice that there is no, well, you might be like, what's shutdown? There's no shutdown. It's option 6, halt system. That's what they call shutdown. It sounds kind of abrupt. Come to a halt. You stop quickly. That's actually a graceful shutdown for FreeBSD. So we are going to press number 6 and enter. It's going to ask us, Pfsense will shut down, halt the system. This may take a few minutes depending on your hardware. Do you want to proceed? Yes. So that's giving you a warning because, well, you're shutting down a router and a firewall. You shut this down, no traffic's going anywhere. So we're sure because it's a lab environment. So Pfsense is now shutting down. You saw it just went to the thing. This is a broadcast message. So this goes out to anybody who might be logged into the system. And now all the daemons and processes are going to wait to stop, or the system's going to wait for them to stop. You'll see their max 60 seconds, and then it shuts down. So start back up. We just hit the power, but I'm exhausted, so we are not going to hit the power. We're going to hit the power on that later. I don't know when. I will schedule the next live stream, I think. Might be Tuesday. Yes, we are going to do Tuesday the 31st. Tuesday the 31st. You can't see it, my face is in the way. Let me move my face up there. Tuesday the 31st. That's going to be the date of our next live stream. Watch my Twitter feed. It's at Travy. Or, not at Travy. It's at It's Travy. ITSTRAVY. And there'll be a link there. So follow me on Twitter. And put my beautiful face down there. So let me show you my Twitter. Just so that way you know. Make sure you get the right thing. So that's my Twitter. It's Travy. That's how you know it's me. It's Travy. I post tech stuff mostly. I don't know if I just checked. I just saw the live stream. Anyways, I post tech stuff. I try to stay away from the politics, but it sucks you in. Anyways, I post mostly tech, random stuff, random thoughts, roller coasters, because I am a coaster enthusiast. You'll see on there that I am just an okay gamer. Not very good. But yeah, so I will post the next live stream on Tuesday. I'm going to actually tweet that out. It's going to be Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to tweet that out. I'm going to pin that to my profile. So remember, it's Travy, Travy, and yeah. So we'll get into our virtual lab and whatnot. Again, doing it live. Time you get to see it live. This is literally what I do. Clock just rolled over to 1, so I am exhausted. It's been a long day, so we're cutting the stream. Anyways, all you have a great night, morning, afternoon, day, evening, whenever you watch this, because this is going right to my YouTube channel. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great one.